right to education. Script Yuri Nechayev, Ina Filimonova. Direction Vladimir Tomberg. Commissioned by the Union of Soviet Societies of Friendship and Cultural Ties with Foreign Countries. The beginning of the school year is greeted in the Soviet Union as a regular holiday. On September the 1st, 45 million pupils throughout the country come to school. The first graders are especially excited. What awaits them inside the school? So many anxieties and expectations. No matter where a young Soviet citizen lives, and regardless of his nationality, the Constitution gives him the right to an education. The main guarantees of this right are that all forms of education are free of charge and the introduction of general high school education.
Поэт Полин написал стихотворение о друзьях человека, умных машинах. Аня, начинай читать.
Умные машины делают конфеты, добрые машины выдают...
All children reaching the age of 7 start going to school. They have before them a wide road of knowledge and independent work. School textbooks comprise 25% of all books published in the Soviet Union, and school children get them free of charge. All Soviet people study in their native language. That is yet another guarantee that education is available to all. The Russian language is taught in our schools.
Рабочие руки, добрые руки, умелые руки. Всем ребятишкам знакомы в округе. Сами построят, они самокат, ладных товарищей, песок мастерят.
Also, one foreign language.
Now, Afghan, you read your lesson, please.
In the morning, Mari, hey, get up, boy. Don't you hear the clock? Aram, I am so sleepy.
The contemporary man must know a lot, and the school teaches the main sciences to the kids. It has all that is necessary for that purpose. After studies, not everyone goes home. Each school has extended day groups. The parents can work without worrying about their children, as teachers attend to their regime and help them with their homework. Here, the kids work and rest together. Children with a weak health receive special facilities for studying. This girl was frequently ill. Now she's in a special school in the forest till she's completely cured. What could be more curative than exercise in the fresh air or a walk in the forest? Doctors prescribe the necessary procedures in the health improvement courses. Not a single Soviet child remains without attention, and the state takes the utmost care of each one. Childhood is a time for discoveries and enthusiasm. There are so many interests and such a yearning for creativity and art. Teachers of specialized schools and heads of various hobby groups at houses of pioneers and school children help the kids fathom their possibilities and to check on and develop their gifts. Elena Karpukhina, ex-world champion in calisthenics, teaches children at the Moscow Palace of Pioneers and School Children. Artur Yusupov had once learned how to play chess in this Palace of Pioneers, and in 1977, a student of the Moscow University, Artur became world chess champion among youths. These kids will undoubtedly select various professions, but now thousands of children come to the Palace of Pioneers and School Children, and each finds a hobby to his or her liking. Perhaps some of these pioneers will one day fly in space. Completely made by themselves, working on the model with all its intricate and fine details, develops the children spiritually and gives them confidence in their capabilities, which is the main thing. The prominent Russian teacher Ushinsky wrote, "If bringing up children is meant to bring them happiness, then it should train them to work." All schools apply that principle. The inter-school educational industrial combines have teachers with industrial experience. In this way, the important task of choosing one's profession is greatly facilitated, and the kids make less errors in selecting their way of life. A developed generation, well prepared for work at modern enterprises, thus grows up. Future programming operators study here. They will supply the computers with information. The Soviet state has provided the broadest possibilities for obtaining a high school education, but still, sometimes for various reasons, the youngsters start working before graduating. Anatoly became a mechanic, but soon he decided to continue studying. So he entered an evening school which provides all conditions to give the youngsters a high school education. It's never too late to study. Eric Beckman graduated from an evening institute and became an engineer when he was no longer young. He teaches at a Leningrad professional technical school. There are many such schools in our country, where highly skilled workers of many professions are trained. In addition to free education, free clothing and food are also provided. Future workers can often be seen at museums and theaters, where their spiritual qualities are enriched. Along with their professions, youngsters go through the whole 10-year education program at the professional technical schools. Many enter the schools continuing family traditions. Yura Azetov's father is an engineer instructor at the Leningrad Metro or subway. Yura now operates subway trains himself during practice work. Many new professions came into being during Soviet power in the towns and villages. Agricultural and technical schools train expert mechanics, economists, agronomists, and livestock breeders. Anna Sartson studies in such a technical school in Estonia. Anna says she wants to be a livestock breeder. Her father is a shepherd, her mother a milkmaid. The Piarno State Farm, where she was born, sent her to study and pays her an allowance. Anna will be the first in her family to be a specialist with a diploma, and she will work in her native village. The system of unified education and training has been adopted in all educational institutions, and it is varied. There is sport, and amateur artistic work. The knowledge acquired in high schools is the basis for continuing one's education. There are 860 institutes and universities in the USSR. The students have all that is necessary for studying and an interesting life. Well-appointed hostels for out-of-towners and an allowance to all students with good marks. There are places for rest and sports. Like all Soviet citizens, the students receive free Medicare. They have their own sanatoriums, rest homes, hiking bases, and preventoriums where Medicare treatment is given. Each institute has its own library and reading room with all the necessary literature and manuals. Excellent laboratories, the latest apparatuses and technical equipment, and all free of charge. Skill to work independently today acquires a special significance. Computers have become an irreplaceable aid for teachers and students. Calculators teach the students and check how they pass their tests. The advantages of this method are obvious. The machine has patience to work with each student, and it gives marks impartially. But even the most modern machine cannot fully replace the teacher. The country's most renowned scientists teach in Soviet institutes and universities. Professor Bakirov, a prominent Soviet specialist in oil and gas prospecting. His rich experience and knowledge give a lot to future petroleum specialists and power engineers. Academician Severin, a well-known biochemist, has for many years been lecturing at the Moscow University, which preserves the best traditions of Russian science. Studies in the auditoriums and laboratory work are combined with practice. The students take part in scientific research and experimental work from the first courses. Future medics go through practice work at hospitals and clinics, studying the art of the most prominent Soviet surgeons. Over 90 million persons study in our country, or each third citizen. 5 million persons study at evening and correspondence courses. The enterprises extend considerable aid to them, paying for their vacations during examinations and reducing their working hours. A whole training center has been created at the Moscow automobile plant with a high school and higher technical school. Students work 1 week and study the next week. In this way, they learn their profession more thoroughly. During their studies, the students take part in the work to improve the production processes. Students Pavel Klitin and Viktor Syomin are authors of many innovations. The aim of the Soviet education system is to create a society wherein people are active citizens. It has become a tradition to help the farmers in the summer and those building new housing. We have a lot of work to do, enough for everyone, said the General Secretary of the Soviet Communist Party, President Leonid Brezhnev. Our Constitution guarantees each Soviet citizen work in his chosen profession. The first decrees of Soviet power signed by Vladimir Lenin became the basis for the spiritual, cultural, and socio-economic growth of Soviet society. In a brief historical period, we have traversed the road of almost total illiteracy to universal compulsory high school education. The Constitution of the USSR guarantees the right of all citizens to receive an education. It is an expression of the genuine democracy of Soviet society. The road to knowledge, to all-round development of the individual, is open to all the peoples of the Soviet state.